Jai Shri Ram. Very nice person's name to start editing. So Ram. So he's our supreme God. Very nice to hear this at the beginning of every session and at the end of every session. So I'm Keshava Ram. It's about entrepreneurial thinking. So you are budding managers. After MBA, you are supposed to become the managers. So how you can inculcate the entrepreneurial thinking? For the next 1 hour, this is going to be my agenda. So in between, we can have interaction. I will ask you questions because it's in the afternoon. You had lunch and I might fall asleep. Similarly, you will also. So let's keep it little engaging. So I will start with my introduction, more detailed introduction, so that you understand about me, the business, and how I got into entrepreneurship. And then this is the main topic for the day that I'm going to discuss. This is more about the gaps that I see in the present day MBAs when it comes to working in the industry and taking up entrepreneurship. The things that are holding us back from working in an industry. And finally, then with what are the opportunities available? Now, Cocoguru is already 10 kilometers away from you. It's a Puttur based industry. So, whom you can, though we can collaborate. So, I'm going to talk about that. About me as a person, I'm from Puttur. Though I've been born in Bangalore because my parents were at that place at that point of time in 1982. So I'm 43 plus now, almost reaching 44. So this is how old I am. For example, my brother, so he's in the management of Vivekananda Institute for a very long time. So he is Santosh Bonadar. He's my elder brother. My father, Shivashankar Bhatt. So if you are in the Havyaka community, he's a very well-known face. He's in the directors, he's in the leadership role in the Sri Ramachandrapura Mandam. He has set up the temple and the marriage hall, Balamuri Vidyavanahati temple. My small family, so my wife Suprava, she's an MCA from Nitte and she worked with me for some time before childbirth in the business. So she also started like me as an entrepreneur. Yeah, these are my sweet children. Shipra and Chitisha, they are in third grade and second grade. Presently, I'm living in Mangalore for the last 6 months because of children education. Otherwise, my native band is in Puttur. So, how many of you are from Puttur here? How many of you are localites? Oh, very few of you are localites. Okay, maybe 10 people. Okay, so that means just like professors we have from all over the country, we have students also from nearby locations. So I thought that the diversity is more of localites over here. So I'm surprised. So about my life journey in terms of say schooling. So for first standard, I come back from Bangalore to Puttur and studied at Saint Victor's. So that was the only English medium school available at that time. So despite our difficulties at that stage in terms of finances, my parents enrolled me to the best school available. So I used to be out of 100 people, I used to be in the top 40 around that place. So I wouldn't study every subject very seriously. I used to only focus on maths and science. So I aspired to become a scientist sometime. After school, I went to high school, that is Science Phenomena. The reason was that it was very nearby to my house, so that I can come back in the afternoon, have my lunch fresh, and go back. So that is the objective. It is not about which is the best school available. Of course, Vivekananda is among the best one available, but that was nearby. So after high school, PUC, and then graduation. Academically, I was average if you look at the overall subjects, but I had strong interests in particular subjects like maths and science. So I used to read the books and then feel inspired by these great scientists and mathematicians, and I thought I should also innovate, discover, invent like these great scientists. So I aspired in that direction, but I didn't have the academic skills to get in that direction. So I was fascinated. I used to study for myself, not for the exams. So I scored average in the board exams on PUC. So I got 73.5, which is very average in this day and age. Even then it was above normal, that's all. Fortunately, we had the CET exam. So I'm not sure what it is called in today's time. So it was an entrance exam for engineering and It was on aptitude. We didn't have to write essays, and it was application oriented. So the necessity of I have was not that much. So I could just apply the concepts and score marks. So to my surprise, I scored very well. I got 86th rank in the state. I could choose any engineering college for my liking. I chose SGC Mysore because I had aversion towards Bangalore. The pollution, the population density, the traffic. I didn't want to go through that. So since I had a choice, I chose Mysore. So in Mysore, the shift has changed from scientist to be an engineer and hence computer engineer. And in computer science, I like programming a lot. I was very good at programming. Uh, that's how I won several contests in IEEE or many other technical departments. So I changed my career from scientist to a programmer. So after third year of engineering, I got campus selected into Tata Elxsi. That was one of the first companies to visit the campus. There again, I had the entrance examination to my liking, which was one objective and aptitude oriented. So I worked in Tata Elxsi. Meanwhile, my shift had again happened. From an engineer, I wanted to become a manager. So in order to become a manager, my mother said you have to do an MBA from a top institute. That time we did based on the engineering or MBA at that time. So it was many 5 years back. So I wrote CAT, Common Admission Test, to get into IIMs. So I could clear the data interpretation and the mathematical sections, but I was not good at English because I have told you during my childhood I was not concentrating on all the subjects, only on a few subjects of my interest. So this weakness was exposed, and I couldn't crack CAT effectively and join the IIMs. So I tried for 3 or 4 years, and then finally I settled for a second level B school, that is Nachimanji Institute of Management in Mumbai. So I completed MBA in 2009. So it was the Lehman Brothers collapse. So this is about my personal journey. For the last 15 years, I am an entrepreneur and running this Cocoguru Coconut Industries. After my MBA in 2009, I immediately worked in coconut oil. Cocoguru. So you would have been in the first year. If you had been in the second year, you would have been more familiar with Cocoguru, because we had a vegetarian restaurant nearby in the Nehru Nagara junction, so which was shut down exactly 1 year back. So otherwise, I'm not sure if you would have come across Cocoguru. So let me explain what Cocoguru is about. So Cocoguru is a pure coconut oil for cooking brand. So we manufacture coconut oil because traditionally coconut oil is the staple edible oil in this region. Now it has changed completely. Now very few homes use coconut oil as a primary cooking oil. So now the refined oils have entered on the kitchens. Along with coconut oil, we also make coconut oil fried snacks, like our basic village snacks like banana chips or murukku or tupuri or this, whatever we find in the traditional Dakshina Kannada homes, all made out of coconut oil. We also have a few sweets, taking traditional sweets, sambartafala, delunde. So in coconut oil, there are multiple ways in which coconut oil can be made. So we are making in two ways majorly. One is roasted, another is cold pressed. So in roasted, coconut is roasted before oil extraction, and you will have that sweet aroma of coconut oil enhanced and greater taste and a longer shelf life. Another is cold pressed. Cold pressed is a buzzword these days because people are realizing the implications of consuming refined oil, and hence they are moving to crude oils and hence cold pressed oils. So we are making cold pressed oil where copra is not roasted. It was a family business. Sri Ram Industries. My father started as a first generation entrepreneur. I started as a second generation entrepreneur. So after MBA, I thought I know everything and I can change the world. I can change the business overnight. So, but my father was very skeptical. I had built this business over the last 22 years. So based on your theoretical knowledge, we cannot change it overnight. So he said, you better start a separate entity with all your ideas. I will support you, but don't change the existing setup. So we have Sri Ram Industries as one entity and Cocoguru as a new entity. So I am the first generation entrepreneur for Cocoguru. Coconut oil in our business, in our family, and the second generation person. In 2010, he incorporated the company and brought it from funding from the parent and within my family. and set up the factory in Kallarpet near Karpari Subramanya Temple. It's on the Surya Road. So we started operations in 2012 and it's been 14 years in operations now. So promoters for this are my family members, my father, mother, and the brother, and myself, four directors. And we have a team of 40 people. So we are given employment to 40 people. We can give it to many more people provided they bridge their gaps and become employed. So our regional presence, we are available in Dakshina Kannada, Udupi district, Kodagu district, where people consume coconut oil for cooking. We are also present nowadays in Bangalore and Mysore. We have the online presence on Amazon, Flipkart, JioMart, or our own website, and it is available all over the country. So people buy through our website. How I have been an entrepreneur, it's been an accident. So I was not meant to come back to the native and do this coconut oil business. So the accident was that 2008 inception. So I was in the second year of my MBA in 2008, where the Lehman Brothers, ING, or these global banks and insurance companies collapsed. Globe was set for a recession and jobs were not really good. So I had a salary of about 50,000 per month after my 4 years of stint at Tata Elxsi. So I was not getting placed. So finally, at the end of the second year, I got placed as a professor at lovely professional university in Jamanda. So this was not what I was paid for. I have done MBA, but this is what I had. So I had 3 months of gap before joining. So I completed my MBA at the end of March and I was supposed to join on the 1st of July. So in between I had 3 months. So I thought I have learned a lot, guided my father in how to do business better. So I went on that journey. So initially it was about going to Bangalore and seeing how we can place our products over there. So identify the gaps, what is required for our brand to be present in Bangalore supermarkets. So I identified that maybe our branding was not good enough, or packaging was not good enough, or we need to do more of marketing to get that. I suggested a few things. I'm an introvert, but in order to do this, I had to talk to people. And if it is for work, I can talk to people. So this is how I shed my inhibitions and went and talked to people. So I did a survey with the retailers and the consumers, because the retailers are the people who will buy from us and then sell to consumers, and consumers are the people who will use the product. So we have to, as a brand, consumer brand, we have to look at the entire channel in which the distribution happens. Say I went to meet the consumers. So there will be ladies, housewives, will be sitting at their homes. So I go to their gate. They will kick me away. Kick me not literally, but shoo me away. Or they will let their dogs out. So I had to face this kind of rejections. So what are the implications of becoming an entrepreneur? Now, as an MBA, you would think that you will sit in an AC cabin and you would give directions. You will take decisions. You will do management. But this is what you end up doing. And I had to face the retailers. So, of course, they will abuse. They will shoo you away. They will not let you talk. They will not look at your eye. So, this was a very humbling experience. And this is the foundation for the journey further. We know at the end of the survey what are the limitations and what we have to do to become a brand that can be present in the supermarkets of Bangalore. So, then I went on that journey. So then I convinced my father that this is what we can do. We'll work on we'll coin a brand. Cocoguru is a short form of Coconut Guru. So we are the experts in the field of coconut. So if we are a brand, the name has to be unique. It cannot be a very common name. So earlier we had Santosh as the brand, right? It is after my younger brother. Santosh is a very common name. So it cannot become a brand. It cannot be trademarked. People cannot recognize that. So it has to be a unique name. So I called the term Cocoguru. And packaging, we had white packaging. So the packaging has to be attractive, visually attractive for the consumers to get attracted and buy it. And the packaging has to be bright. That is, across, when we are transporting from Puttur to Bangalore, it should last the journey. So we had to invest in packaging. So this is what I did with Shriram Industries. My ideas didn't stop there. I had many more ideas which were all impractical. So that's why I had to set it up in the new unit. Why did I become an entrepreneur? So everybody has different reasons. So these were my reasons why I wanted to become that. It was this mindset that if you have to make a lot of money, if you have to change the world, you cannot do just by becoming an employee or a manager. You have to be on your own and drive your own. So I had read several books in that direction, and these are what shaped my mindset. I had this weakness. I had worked at Tata Elxsi for 4 years. So I had worked with different teams with different ideas. So they were not all acceptable to me. So I had my own ideas. So I was not very good at working with people. No, I wouldn't advocate this to you. This was my weakness. You please be very good at working with people. If I am on my own, then I don't have to listen to others or work with them, work on their ideas. So I wanted freedom. I had a very pecuniary lifestyle. I didn't need a lot of money to live for myself. So I could afford not earning a fixed salary. I had some savings for my job earlier. The opportunity cost was very less, so I could take the risk. And I was very fond of my native place. Like I said in the beginning, I'm proud to be from Puttur. Puttur is among the greatest places for me geographically. The people over here, uh, the rainy season that we have, the nature, my being close to my family was very important for me because for about 5 months I was at Japan. I was working on site, so I realized the value of being very close to the people over there. Yeah, we began with Sri Ram's name after conquering Lanka in the war with Ravana. Lakshmana suggested, why not take up this Lanka? Now, this is a very rich place. It was initially built by Kubera, and then Ravana forcefully acquired that place of Lanka. He said this shloka, which comes in Ramayana. Abhi Swarnamayi Lanka, Name Lakshmana Rochate, Janani Janma Bhumishcha, Swargadapi Garidesi. This is a very famous line. So the meaning is that even if Lanka is Swarnamai, that is filled with gold, it does not attract me. But Janani, my mother, Janma Bhumi, Ayodhya, this is what is very dear to me. So Sri Ram said that. So I personally, before knowing this shloka, I was very attached to my hometown. So if I had to be at my hometown and use my skills, I don't think I would get the job to my liking. So the entrepreneurship is the way we go. I like sightseeing. Whenever I'm outside, I make sure that I see the places around. Say if I'm in Mumbai, I will visit all the places nearby. Bangalore, every weekend I used to go out. So what I felt was that we go out whenever we have holidays. That time everybody else also goes out. So the places will be crowded. If I'm an entrepreneur, I can work whenever others take holidays and I can go out when others are working. So I had this freedom. So these are some of the reasons why I got into entrepreneurship. So gap with present MBAs. Let us make it a little interactive. I know you're all bored acting now. So do you think there is any gap in making you employable at the moment? Or you are very skilled and you're ready to go into the industry and start delivering? So do you think, what is your idea? Okay, well, what do you think are the gaps? Where do you think you are lacking instead of that is a gap? This is not about finding faults in you, it's about working on what is required by the industry. So where do you think you stand? Okay, any professors want to say something about this?
This itself is a
Yeah, not being interactive, not responding itself is a gap.
gap. I would say there is a first gap.
So I'm not here to judge you, trying to open up the conversation and make it interactive and see how we can work together. Yes, if I'm this itself is the primary gap. So we are cause for interview, they don't respond, then they go back. They think they have to be hired just because they have completed their MBA and they have their certificate with them. So do you think this is why you should be employable? Or do you have to carry some skills and deliver, put in your efforts and deliver the results? Why should companies employ you? Or you think you will become entrepreneurs and you don't require employment? So yeah, gap, same gap of both the places. That is managers versus entrepreneurs. So how they are different. So managers, if you delegate them a task, they will ask, how will I do it? They will come out with many objections why it cannot be done. What are the challenges? They will not immediately start doing it. But as entrepreneurs, you give them a task or a target and say this is the way. They will think, why not? What are the other ways? How can we reduce the cost? How can we increase the revenue? They will take the ownership. Whereas managers, they will wait for the instructions, how it has to be done. They will wait for the approvals. So you think managers take decisions, but they wait for the instructions from higher level. Entrepreneurs, they set the direction. They take the risk. Okay, let's do it in this direction. It may not be right. They wouldn't have the experience, but they have the responsibility of the setting the ball rolling. Managers, but they take the direction and then they execute. Now, on the contrary, managers have a few more advantages. When you give them a SOP, you give them a checklist, they will have the patience to go through the SOP, go through the checklist, and deliver exactly. Whereas entrepreneurs, they will be firefighting in another way, and they will not have the patience to go through the checklist. So, an industry requires both entrepreneurs as well as managers. I'm not trying to say that managers are useless, but they have individual roles. So, how they are different. Now, as a manager, if you have wear the hat of an entrepreneur, it will be very good for you as a manager in going up. Entrepreneurs, they think about the business primarily, whereas managers, they think about their role. How relevant is their role? How can I protect that? How can I protect it from letting it go? Because of the latest technologies that are coming in, say AI. Entrepreneurs, of course, everybody comes to with problems. So whenever there is a problem, entrepreneurs, they try to solve the problem. Whereas managers, they try to escalate it. When they will try to see within their scope how best they can solve the problem. If not, they will escalate it up. You set a direction, managers will try to optimize that. How best we can do within this framework. Whereas entrepreneurs, they will build that system. They will build that process. It may not be perfect. One of the things that I've been stressing a lot, it's about the bias against sales. What's your idea? So, who does sales? Salesperson or everybody needs to do sales? What do you agree? Salesperson. Only salesperson should do sales. In your day-to-day work, do you think you need to do sales? Okay, suppose it's a Sunday. You are a group of people. You decide what to do. So people have different opinions. One person says, let us go to a movie. One person says, let's go to a temple. One person says, let's go to a restaurant. Each person is very convinced about his way of spending the day. So then what do? You sell to the other person why they need to agree to you. Do you think this is sales? Are you comfortable doing this, or you will rather just like you rather sit at home and not do sales? Would you rather agree with what the other person says and you would not sell? Yeah, so everybody, whether you are in a sales job or not, you will be selling. You have come for MBA. Maybe your parents would have sold you to get into MBA, or you would have sold them saying that let me get into Vivekananda for MBA. So sales happens even if you are not in a sales job. So why not master it? Your life will become much better. Just like what I've observed, this is what I've been observing over the last 15 years. So you're not very different. Just like everybody else, you're also reluctant to get into a sales job. So why do you think sales is not such a good job meant for you? Why is sales not meant for you? Target, yes. You will be assigned a target. The top management will be exerting pressure on you to achieve the target, and which will become very irritating, frustrating for you. That's the reason. There's any other reasons why sales is not a very good job, not meant for you. Field work. Yes, you want to sit in office and do your job, not get into the field. No, field is filled with sunlight, rain, dust, heat, cold sometimes. You're exposed to all of that on the field. And also people will see you're in the market. You're in some market and many people will see, oh, what are you doing here? It's from sitting in an office, what will be in here? Am I right? This is what your feeling is. Okay. What else is bad about sales? Why don't you want to get into sales? Yes. It's about rejection. You're facing a rejection. So there are people, they're not interested in what you're selling, but you have to approach them and beg them to buy. what you're selling, which is not a good job. Or you said approaching people who are not interested in buying. But if it is about approaching people who are interested in buying, would it be a good job? Okay, so that is what is segmentation. So we have to segment the market and find out to whom this solution is appropriate and go and pitch to them. So your effectiveness as a salesperson is bit better. So because of wrong segmentation, we are targeting the wrong set of customers and we are facing rejections. So rejections hurt. Everybody wants to be accepted, not yet rejected. So does it personally impact you? Suppose you are selling a product and they reject the product. So does it personally impact you? It impacts. It impacts even the seasoned of sales professionals. It impacts me also when I go to sales. If somebody says, I don't want to buy your product. Yes, so these are all fair feelings. So, okay, any other feeling? Yes, so we are selling our product against several competitors. The competitors could be better than ours. They could be priced lower than ours. They could be have better features than ours. They could have better distribution. They could be better aware, and we have to fight against that competition. Yes, the odds of success is much lower. Yes, all these are very fair feelings, but let me give you also, this is one of the biggest hindrance of you being employable is your aversion towards sales, your bias against sales. Sales is one of the most noble professions if you really understand what it is. And what's your name? Sri Devi. Yes. Sri Devi, what did you say exactly? Yeah. So facing rejection from the wrong set of customers, from the wrong set of people. Now, suppose you have the right set of people and you are approaching them and you are providing solution to their problem. So is it's a noble profession or a very bad profession? So I'm telling what are the advantages that sales gives you, and I will demystify some of your thoughts: target, pressure, or field work, or rejections, competition. So salesmen we would have seen in our day-to-day lives. We would have seen people carrying blankets from North India to our homes selling blankets, which item reject them and throw them away. Also, you see pickers near temples or markets, so where they are trying to. So, salesman is similar to a beggar, right? They are trying to beg you to buy their product. So, begging is very wrong. You have to show them the value. We will have people meeting us at functions who are selling insurance. So we know how we avoid such people. They try to come near us, we try to go away because we know that they are coming there to sell insurance to us. We get cold calls. You know what is a cold call? You did invite them. They are not from known people, from unknown people. You get calls. Buy this credit card. Come to this institute to do your MBA. So we have seen scenarios like that, and we have built our mindset that sales is a very bad job. Whatever I do, I should be either an accountant sitting in an office or develop strategy. After MBA, you will have studied the BCG. You know which business to continue, discontinue, strategy. So we want to do strategy. So not sales. You know how rejections are delivered. They are not delivered in a very pleasant way. No, ma'am, we don't want this. They will say, no, get lost. So it's very tough to face that. These are some of the reasons for I have cited. You have given many more reasons. So thanks for sharing that. Also in low status. So it's a very lowly job, not something that you do after an MBA. Maybe after your PUC or a graduation, you can get into sales. You have done MBA, masters. Public. So as a salesperson, you're public. Now I had salespersons who will say, okay, outside my home territory, I will sell, but not within. I am from Uppinangadi. Outside Uppinangadi market, I can go because in Uppinangadi market, if somebody sees me doing sales, then I feel shy. Physical discomfort. You travel, you walk every day, you feel very tired. Field work, somebody is in field work. Vivekananda Institute is doing a very good job because they are not conditioning you saying that you should not get into sales. Are you rejecting companies who are coming here for with sales roles? We welcome them. Yes. Oh, they're doing a very good service. Okay, so Vivekananda was HR. You know what you do with HR? You sell to candidates to come work for the company. So which is again sales. I don't think that is HR, it is sales. You do finance. So you have your investment, say mutual fund. You are a fund manager. You want people to invest. So we are essentially semi-medium. So insurance, banks, what do these people do? They come to sell. When each time you go, sales cannot be avoided. It's better to build a mindset for sales than against sales. So work timings. Work timings can be erratic. It is not definite 9 to 5 jobs. This is where I'm talking about ladies. So you will have definite working hours, right? What is your favorite working hours, ladies? 9 to 5. Yes. So beyond this, you cannot work. In sales job, you don't know. You'll be traveling somewhere. You don't know when the customer meeting will happen, what time you will be able to come back. So of course, your parents will be worrying about your safety, or you yourself will be worried about it. Business has various functions. So we have finance, marketing, sales, HR, operations. So which is one function that generates revenue? Sales is the only function. What do other functions do? They spend monies. So what does the business want? They want people who spend money, or they want people who deliver, generate revenues. If you are in sales, will you be valuable to the business? So if you are valuable to the business, will you yourself be valued? Where will you get more value? When you're spending or when you're earning? So there's direct impact on the revenue. How companies give you growth in your profession. So if you are in sales, it is in line with the revenue that you generate. How quickly you grow your revenues. So accordingly, your increments should be decided. Whereas if you are in a operations or a very stable job, you are not innovating. So the increment will be decided based on inflation. Early 5% increment will be given. Many of you are not interested in sales. The same thing will be there in other colleges also. So somebody said competition. So you are competitors among yourselves in securing a few jobs, which is not to do with sales. So everybody will be competing for jobs which is not to do with sales. So the chances of you getting placed is lower. Whereas if you go to a place, to a field like sales, which is not having lot of competition, so the chances of you getting placed is much higher. Okay, in our company, the average salary, if it is say about 15,000 per month for a non-sales role, we pay 20,000 per month as an entry level for a sales role, so which is about 35% higher than the non-sales role. So this is how much we value salespeople. This is the same across other industries also. Along with fixed salary, there will be incentives. Somebody said target, pressure. So if you achieve the target, you will be given incentives. So you would have higher chances of earning. Have you seen people going to say foreign tours, as say medical representative? He achieved this much of target and is going on an international vacation. Do you see with such things with accountants? So the safer the job, lesser is the benefit. So companies have to be smart enough in setting the targets. The targets should be achievable. If you work towards it, you should be able to achieve it. You would have heard about SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, attainable, such goals. So if the companies set you SMART goals, when you achieve the target, you will be motivated, company will benefit. So you get to travel. No, I like travel. No, I go on sales. So I know every place around. I have mentioned these 3-4 districts here. Say Udupi, Dakshina Kannada, Kodak. So I have been to every place. And when I go, it's not only about sales. I also visit the attractive places nearby. Good scenic places, temples, good restaurants, experiences. So during the day, I would sell, and later in the day, I would enjoy. Weekends, I would enjoy. Sometimes I take my family also. I've been sales. So because you have been conditioned saying that sales is not a very good job, I want to get rid of that conditioning for my children. So I carry them along with on my sales tools so that they enjoy this process. You're building a product. So what is at the center of the business? Is it the factory where the product is being manufactured, where there are laborers, supervisors, managers, finance? Is it the center of the whole? What is the main place for the product? The godown. This is the market. Now somebody said competition. So if in the market that you have customers, you will have competitors, you will have your products. So that is the center. And who is the closest to the center? What type of people in the organization are closest to the center for the product? Sales people. So who has the best knowledge about the product? We used to think that it is the operations people because they are the ones who are making the product. Making the product is not everything. How the product gets used, for what purpose it is, how we stand against the competition, how the market receives our product. So we are aware of that. We have better knowledge about the product. Okay, now we have talked about sales. So what are the skills required to become a good salesperson? Communication, yes. Convincing, yes. Patience. So first of all, is it a skill job or is it a low skill job? Okay, thanks for acknowledging that. Yes, it's a highly skilled job. If you are just good at going out, talking to people, yes, many people agree that communication. But communication is not everything. Do you need to know about the product before you communicate? So product knowledge is necessary. Is it required in depth or shallow? Why do you require it in depth? To convince the customer. Because he has several options apart from your product. He will have several questions. He will have several objections. So objection handling is an important skill in sales. Sales truths and myths. So if you sell something, who benefits out of it? The seller or the buyer? Seller, because he gets revenues. He has sold the product. The money hit his bank. So seller has benefited. So is it a sustainable sales? Will the sales sustain if it only benefits the seller? Will he buy again? Okay, because of your face value, okay, you are pleading them, you are begging them just to avoid you, just to make you not feel bad. They would have bought once. Will they buy again? So it has to be mutual. That is, the buyer has to benefit. When is sales easy? When the buyer benefits more than the seller. So you should make the customers buy from you automatically. You should show the benefits in such a way. So sales is not a single function. Marketing also plays a role in this. So making the customers feel that it's a valuable product that they're buying. But still it requires a salesman to communicate, to close the sale. Marketing generates leads. Sales converts the leads into customers. So this is a truth, that is a myth. So only the company or the seller benefits is a myth. So somebody said patience. So we also see you said communication. So communication means talking. You should be good in talking. So are you a good communicator? Not necessarily. It is essential to talk well, but just talking doesn't make you a good communicator. You should listen well. You should address queries that the customers have asked you. You cannot read from your script in a good communication way. So listening is a very important part of selling. Understanding the customer requirements, his problems, his desires. So in sales, you don't have to make everyone buy. You should have a very specific target. For example, this institute is selling its MBA program. The target is those who have done graduation, those who are in the nearby areas, those who can afford this much money. So they would have done their segmentation and effectively targeted you, and you would have come and joined. The entire population has not come here. Only a selected 60 people have come here. So everyone need not buy. So rejections. So if you go to the wrong person, you will face rejection. So finding the right person is the way to go. What are the factors that impact sales? Suppose we have a product, for example, coconut oil, which I'm very familiar with. So if you have to sell in the market, what are the factors? Quality, oh yes. Price, USP, yes. Brand, familiarity with the brand. You trust a few brands. This is known. I have heard about this brand, so I can buy it safely. I have not heard about this. I have not seen this before. So this is where brand plays a major role. That's why companies advertise to make themselves known. So common problem with the salespeople is that they think price is the only factor that determines sales. So if the price is lower, it will automatically sell. Not necessary. Price is one of the factors, not the only factor. The other factors, like you mentioned, is about the brand, the quality, its USP, or which is it different? How does it solve my problem? How is it available? How easily is it available? Is it available in my nearby store? Is it available in Reliance store? Is it available online? Okay. So we have talked about this one. Unskilled work. So you agree that it's a skilled work, but still I think you agree that it is only about communication. Any of your hard skills are applicable here. Communication is a soft skill. Do you have to study to become a good salesman? Do you have to prepare? So one of the things that you need to do, if you are able to talk well, you're a good salesman. So it's a very highly skilled job. Not everybody gets it unless you work very hard towards it. And are salespeople born that he's a born salesman? So he's capable of selling. He doesn't have to prepare anything. Or can you practice yourselves to become a good salesman? So can you develop yourselves to be a good salesman, or do you have to be born with the sales skill? You can develop yourselves to become a better salesperson. Yes. So if this is the mindset, anybody can become a good salesperson. If we tell a lie, we will be able to sell. Okay, if you buy this product, all your problems will be solved. Or this is some magic. If you buy this, so you'll be able to sell better. So what is your approach? So will you buy to sell? Because you have your targets, pressures. So we don't tell a lie. Will it sustain? No. So you tell a lie, he has fallen for the trap. He will see your brand again, he will see you again. He will see that the results are not there. He will come back to you. So it is better to get rejected in the first instance than later. So it is not about lying. We can sell a product by actually telling the facts. The product is there for a certain reason. So we are able to be aware of those reasons, and if we are able to present it, we should be able to sell it. So how to increase the sales skills? So it's not just about communication. So you can read books which are about sales. Some self-help books are also fine. There are some videos. There are some great sales professionals online who are sharing their videos online on YouTube. Watch them. This is another proposal. You should take up part-time sales roles. Will it harm me if you take up part-time jobs? Work-life balance. Already you are studying from 9 to 4, 5, and then thereafter you are going to sell. So will your parents allow you? You're meant to get into some 1 lakh package per month after MBA. Why are you doing one sales jobs for 5,000 rupees a month? So how many of you are willing to do part-time jobs? Just because you raise your hand doesn't mean that I will give you a job. Don't worry. So how many of you are willing to do a part-time job to learn better about sales? Okay, only one person is interested. Yeah. Okay, so that's not a very relevant way to learn skills. So the rest of you can read books, or you can watch videos, or if you think that sales is not required, you will not go through at all. In our company, there are 3 types of sales roles. One is inside sales. So where you sit inside your office. So somebody said traveling, so we don't have to travel. You pick up your phone, call prospects, cold call, get business. So this is inside sales. Then we have counter sales. Counter sales, for example, Harsha outlet, or the showroom, say Sanjeeva Shakti showroom, or the restaurant, where customers walk into you and you have to serve it to them. Other way is field sales. Like an FMCG product which is sold in a retailer, you go from shop to shop selling the product. So between these two, which is easy? Counter sales or field sales? No idea. Counter sales, yes. So why counter sales is easy? The weather differences, heat, cold, sunlight. Is it that way? Okay. Somebody said wrong customers. So when you are selling in your counter, the right set of customers will walk into you. They would have almost been sold. They would have come there for buying. So you don't have to sell to them where you don't have to convince them that much. They will just make the transaction and go away. But if you have to upsell or cross sell, then you have to do your sales. So counter sales is easier comparatively. So field sales. Though you may not like field sales, but I suggest you do field sales because it will shell your ego. You are nobody. You don't carry your MBA tag into a retailer. They don't care. No matter from which college you have done your MBA, they don't care. You're just somebody. So you're going there with your skills, with your product. So it's a great leveler. Every MBA pass out from top institutes, when they get into top companies like Hindustan Lever or Wipro or Calder Powerade, they will go through 1 year of management trainee stint. As a management trainee, they will do all such sorts of jobs. They will select people from cities, metro cities like Mumbai or Delhi, and they will take you to the most rural of areas, say Bihar, northeastern states, and make you work there. Do you need to do this job for the rest of your life? But this is for your grounding, for your experience about doing ground level work. So as MBAs, why did parents send you to MBA? Because they wanted to do managerial work, higher level strategy. You want to approve, you want to give directions, you want to delegate tasks to your team members. But who wants to do the ground level work? Working in the field, working in the shop floor, doing production, packing, sweeping the floor, or cleaning in a restaurant. Nobody likes to do. That's not what you've done your MBA for. So this is again a gap. Industries want you to take responsibility. How to carry out that responsibility, if it involves little bit of ground level work, industries expect you to do it. They don't accept the excuse that you don't have people for that, you've not given me people, so how can I do it? That excuse is not acceptable. Suppose you're gone to a some industry where you need to know the process, how it is being done. Suppose a steel plant, how steel is being manufactured. Do you have to work with the laborers over there who are carrying coal, iron ore, and see what their problems are to experience the problems? Do you think you need to be with them, or you can sit in your office and dedicate to tell them what to do? Do you think they will do what you say if you don't understand them, what their problems are? So just like how you object, no, I will not do sales job, or I will not work on the floor. Similarly, your subordinates will object. They will not listen to you. Then you are a practicing manager. So how do you get them work? So you should know how the work happens on the shop floor. Suppose one day, now, so the people on the shop floor, they are not very professionals like you. They take a leave, they will not inform you. Generally, you have been trained that whenever you are taking a leave, you should inform your higher ups, saying that and on leave of so and so day, kindly approve me a leave. They will just be absent for the day. And then when you try to call them, they will not pick up your call. And then you come to know, you assume that they are on leave. Suppose for a key function, they are on leave, and that whole process doesn't work. Who is responsible for that process? If you are a manager, you are responsible. Either you get done that work from others or you do it yourself. Ultimately, you have to deliver. You have been given that responsibility. So if you don't know the ground reality, you will not be able to deliver as a manager. So it is this hesitancy towards ground level work which is a serious gap among MBAs. They are neither too good to be doing strategy, nor their ego will allow them to do ground level work. So this is why several of the graduates and postgraduates are unemployed, or they work for very low salaries. And these days, parents tolerate unemployed people sitting at their home. They would want their children to do strategy and not make them earn their living. So if you don't know the ground level work, you will be a postman. Postman, what he does, he takes the post from one place and delivers it to another place. He doesn't take any decision. he doesn't take the responsibility. If the person over there is available, if there is a post box, he will deliver. Otherwise, he will come back. So as a manager, if you are dedicated with the responsibility, and if you don't have the people under you to work for you, you will report back saying that I'm not able to do the work because I don't have people under me to work for this. So you are essentially a postman, not a management. So this fear of judgment. Okay. Now people, they are okay to do ground level work when they go to other cities. Say they go to Gulf or Mumbai, Bangalore. There they can do any work because there are no equal to observe them, known people to observe them, to judge them. We fear judgment. What others will think about me. I've done MBA and I'm doing this risky job. So, like I said, in the area management training program, so everybody will be asked to do all sorts of works because they have to understand. So it's a preparation. It's not a punishment. It's not something that you have to do for the rest of your lives. You have to do it till you understand. You have to know it. So you should be okay to do such jobs. Is one suggestion. Okay. Mental maths. So do you think this is an important skill? Because we have the calculators, spreadsheets, softwares, artificial intelligence. We people are not trained in the mental mathematical ability. We feel it's not necessary because but there are reoccurring situations where you have to take decisions. Say you are bargaining, you are negotiating with your supplier. Of course, you are not do sales. Suppose you are working with a supplier where you are doing purchase. Purchase is a noble job because it's not about going to the sales field and facing rejections. When you are negotiating, he will propose you something. He will say, I will give you this much percentage discount. I'll give you this much of credit. So if you have to evaluate, you cannot always feed that into a ChatGPT and arrive at a result. Even if you have to feed it, you have to know the concepts well, how it works. A master negotiator just spent face to face, he will be able to negotiate. Here you are not asked to do accurate calculations. You have to be able to judge. Suppose I tell you, say 1 liter of coconut oil costs 400 and you have to buy 250 liters. So if you are given 10,000 rupees, will you be able to buy? So we stand up, you don't have to calculate exactly, but you should be able to judge. 10,000 is not enough, we need 1 buy. So you think you will be able to feed it into the calculator and find out. But when you feed into the calculator, suppose you miss a zero or you give an extra zero, is it possible? Human errors possible. So which will give a result. So should you be able to judge whether that result is right or not? The calculator will always calculate correctly, but as a human, you would input it wrongly or you will read the output wrongly. So if you don't have this judgment, you will come out with wrong decisions. So mental maths that's why the top institutes, they test you in your quantitative ability, your attitude towards learning. So I interview people who are passed out of B schools, plus MBAs of the 1 or 2 years of experience. I ask them, okay, what is your favorite subject? Because out of their experience, I don't have anything to ask. Now you would think, okay, why should companies hire you? I have an MBA degree with me. I have a certificate with me. I have this much of maths. Doesn't work that way. There are many people like you. Why should I hire you particularly? So for this question, you will not have an answer. So if you have to have an answer, we should be able to answer questions that the interviewers ask you. Why ask this question? What is your favorite subject? So they will say something. I ask them from that subject some topic question around that. So they will not be able to answer. What is the excuse they give? I have forgotten. After 3 months of studying MBA, they would have forgotten. So the problem here is that you would read a subject for its exam. If you pass the exam, that's it. That's the ultimate. The purpose of studying a subject is to pass the exam. But an industry doesn't value that. With this type of a learning, you will be able to gain marks, but you will not be able to qualify into an industry. Now, suppose there is one person who studies one night before the exam and scores 80%. There is another person who studies sincerely for the course and scores 90%. So we is smart, according to you. The one who has scored 80% by studying only once before the exam. This is the kind of person whom we celebrate. That's why we have such people around us. Instead, I would celebrate the person who has studied sincerely and got 90% because he has maximized his potential through discipline and hard work. So such are the people to be celebrated. So these are not very poor words. So you would call them Gandhi. You see somebody studying hard. Not a very useful skill, right? Not useful to belong to your group. You treat them separately. No. Without preparation, last moment, just come and appear and deliver something. I have done this much without any preparation. So I'm so great. You're foolish. This set of people, they optimize for the results to effort. Minimal effort, somewhat result. Where the industry values optimization for results. Give your best, achieve your best. So this is very counterintuitive to what you guys have been thinking. So this is the gap that I'm trying to tell. So talent without discipline is a wasted potential. You had the potential in you, but you didn't work towards that, and you have wasted your potential. Okay, how many times? So instead of taking ownership for the results, you pass the blame on to somebody. Oh, he didn't support me. The market conditions were not good. The professor didn't teach well. The college is not good. Instead of owning the responsibilities on ourselves, we pass the blame on the others around us. So this is not the quality of an entrepreneur. A manager sometimes can be able to do that. So your surroundings, as your relatives, friends, they may agree with your excuses, but industry doesn't. So blame, excuse is not acceptable, but taking responsibilities, finding solutions for yourself is the value. Ownership begins the moment excuses ends. Are you made to work on Excel sheets, spreadsheets? Spreadsheets is a generic term for Excel. Excel is a brand by Microsoft. So you might call it Excel, just like we say Bisleri, Rosin, Colgate. These are all brand names for the generic. Generic word is spreadsheet, where you have tables, you have cells, your rows and columns, and you can make calculations. Have you practiced? Have you taken any courses? Or do they teach you in college? No. Okay. So they need not teach you. You are here for hardly 1.5 years to 2 years. So you have to take it upon yourself to learn it. So it's a very useful skill in the industry. Every professional, be it sales, marketing, finance, everybody, it needs Excel sheets, spreadsheets. It's not only about knowing how to open and close and read data. We should be able to apply formulas, add, subtract, multiply, divide, VLOOKUP, pivot table. So there are very great functions that an Excel offers, a spreadsheet offers. So we should be very comfortable with all of that. So if you are ready with that skill, I think you will have better chance of getting selected in companies. You should format it well. You should present it well for the other person to be able to read and understand that. Because you're not working for yourself, you're working for others. So at Cocoguru, we use spreadsheets heavily. Whoever comes to us, we train them extensively on spreadsheets, learning by doing. We use spreadsheet for very important business decisions. Say salary calculations. We have 40 members, so we cannot sit on a calculator and do it. We input the attendance data. The salary data structure is already fed. So we apply the formulas and derive the pay slips that have to be delivered to each employee. So this is happening through a spreadsheet. We have about 5 or 6 sheets to do this calculation. It takes hardly 2 hours for the person to calculate the salary for the month. Similarly, to we deal with the commodity, which is coconut oil. The prices of coconut oil depends on the cost of copra. Copra is a commodity, just like stock market. How we see fluctuations, similarly we see commodity fluctuations. So we should be able to price our end product based on the cost of raw material. So we have an extensive spreadsheet where if we input copra cost, it will derive the selling price across channels. What should be the price to distributor, retailer, consumer, wholesale, MRP? All of that is derived. So sales people on the field, they place orders, primary orders to their distributors. What should be supplied? They just fill the quantities. The order sheet is automatically calculated. So this is the power of spreadsheet that we are using. So at Cocoguru, we are very much interested in hiring local candidates for the people from this institute, but because of these gaps, we have been unable to invite. You can do an industry visit, see how practically an industry works. You can see the production operations. You can talk to people. You would have this imagination. If it is a coconut oil mill, there will be a Ghana rotary machine outside, and there will be laborers who will be putting their hands into it and extracting oil, because you would have seen in nearby villages. So if you come to our industry, you will really know what is the process. So is it really that simple, or are we doing something better? So as you visit, you can also experience. So the recommendation is that you also buy small quantities of our products, experience the product. We also, of course, coconut oil you would not use. So we make snacks and sweets which you can experience. You see and also experience. Also, many people like coming to our industry because after visiting, they don't have to write the report themselves. We have a very information rich website, so where you can directly copy paste and put it in a report. Go through our website and copy paste and make your reports after the visit. Also encourage you to improve our online presence. We have rating sites like Ambition Box or Google reviews. So if you give a positive review, it will help the next sort of presence and be better, more credible in front of others. So internships. So just a while back, I was talking to Ashley sir and Robin sir. So there many people come for internship. They don't come there with the intention of working. They come there with the intention of getting a certificate. So because of popular demand, we are encouraging that. Okay, you don't have to do any work. You come here. If you've done your name, which is department or class, I give you a certificate, and you take it to your professors and get some marks. Now they are facilitating this learning for you, but this is the extent to which they can go. The final learning is upon you. So even we cannot force you, or you, well, if you have to get the certificate, you have to work for this many days, you have to work on that. We cannot force you, because when you're not interested, we cannot force. So this is a golden opportunity for him to learn. You will regret this when you get into the university, that you had these opportunities and you make use of it. Certificate is a purpose for which we are coming. Submission is to actually learn and also contribute to the industry. Do some work that is useful to the industry. This is at the highest level. If you are able to do that, you will be the standout student in the class. Okay, we also have full-time roles, and unfortunately, all these roles are about sales and marketing, because for operations, finance, accounts, which roles you aspire to do, we already have people, stable people working there. We don't keep getting newer opportunities here. The newer opportunities are in the sales and marketing. I think this is a dampener. That is, he thought we'll provide a lot of job opportunities, but it is in a different sector. So you can do this at the comforts of your hometown. Now we go to bigger cities, struggle with the life at cities, metro cities, to earn our bread. If we get that opportunity at our hometown, I think we should value that. I have valued that. I'm not sure about you. I think I can cancel my session. So thank you everybody for being very attentive, at least being here for this long. Yeah. Thank you very much for your participation.